Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. So guys, we're going to kind of continue on with what we've been doing with the otter thing. This is just a continuation of that, and today we're going to talk about the use of buckets with 220 conibears and with footholds as well for those of you that live in states such as Ohio and Missouri that can't use 220s on dry ground, but you can use, you're more than legally use footholds. So I'm going to show you how I set those up as well. Plus I'm going to try to demonstrate on dry ground, because now that we've got so much rain, I can't get back into my ponds to show you in the water actually. But I think with a little imagination you can figure out what I'm doing as far as setting the bucket in the water. And then, you could use them in states such as Missouri, I know, pretty sure in Ohio as well. So that way it gives you another opportunity. So stay with me, guys. We'll get things set up here, and we'll be back in just a minute, and we'll jump right into this. All right, guys, before we get too far off into this, I thought I would take a minute to show you how to set the springs on these 220s and 330s and even the 160s and 280s. How to set the springs on these using either a piece of cable or a piece of rope, whatever you might have handy, in case you don't own a pair of setters, or if you forgot yours at home like I did today. We're not all perfect. So anyway, what you do is take your rope or your cable and run it through the eyes of the spring like so. You pull it all down here, and then you double it back around like so again through there like that, so that your cable is through the spring eyes a couple of times. Okay, you run it through, and then you come back and you run it through again. You got a loop in the end of your rope or the end of your cable that goes over your foot, and then what you do is just give a pull like so, and now you can easily set the safety hook on that conibear, just like that. So anyway, there's just a little trick for y'all I thought I would pass along today. Alright guys, so there's a couple different ways you can set up these buckets. Now you can use a round bucket or a square bucket. You can use a white one, colored one, doesn't matter. The first way I'm going to show you is how to use them on dry ground. Now you can see that I've cut a couple of notches in the sides of that bucket. That's to hold our conibear. And then we've got a hole drilled through the top and down through the bottom side of it as well to be able to stake the bucket. Now there is a stabilizer out on the market, and I believe you can find them at Minnesota Trapline Supply. I think also possibly at Cumberland's. Just look on their websites and see. It's called a bucket guard. And what it is, it's an offset. It comes up and then a 90 and then another 90 up. What it's made to do is hold your bucket and your trap all in one shot. All you do, instead of cutting notches in the sides here, you would take and mark it on the inside where the legs of that stabilizer are, and you would drill a hole through there, and then the legs of the conibear go through, or the stabilizer go through there. Hold your bucket, stabilizes it, and also stabilizes your trap all in one shot. So look those up if you choose to. It's called a bucket guard. A good friend of mine by the name of Craig Malley designed that back years ago, and anyway, that's, you can find those. I'm sure they're still being made. So anyway, I try to find a place where the otters are frequenting, of course. That's always a big plus. And sandbars, points that jut out into the water, those are good places to put these buckets. Now, I want to caution you to have a little common sense about you and use these where there's no chance that you're going to catch a domestic, such as a dog or a cat or something of that sort. Because believe me, these things have no mercy, okay? When he sticks his head in there, it's dead, whatever it is. Very quick, very humane death, but nonetheless, it's still dead. So have a little common sense about you. Remember, timber's out here running around. you know, along with other dogs too. So you've got to use some common sense and just be careful where you put these. So anyway, what you would do is stake through the back of the bucket, or get the bucket guards, whichever one you choose. Stake it down, then you would stake the trap down off here on the side, and then you can run your triggers on the bottom like so, or you can run them up on top like so, however you choose. Now I prefer mine hanging, I want my stabilizers hung dead center of the trap, just like you see them, and up on top. Now that's just me. A lot of guys like them on the bottom. I don't have a preference either way. It just depends on whatever suits you. Then you would slide the conibear into your notches, and then you would bring the springs up, okay? That locks the conibear into the bucket. And then you would throw a big chunk of fish in the back of it, and then guys, I'm telling you, you lure the hell out of it, okay? Big shot of fish oil, big shot of shellfish oil, some otter gland lure, some mink gland lure, some bobcat gland lure, something. It doesn't matter. And I'm telling you, if there's otters around, you've got a shot at catching them. These things work really well that way. So don't overlook this set, because it works really, really well. All right, guys, if I was going to set this in the water, you could set it like this if you choose to. Place a 6-inch or 8-inch bluegill or carp or gizzard shad, something, wire it off in the back of the bucket for bait, stake down through here, stake the trap, and you're good. Or the way I like to use them is to put a big brick or a rock in the bottom of it and turn the bucket up like this, and get yourself 10, 12, 14 inches of water over top of your bucket, and then put a bluegill or a gizzard shad or carp, something of that sort, you know, wired off down in the bottom of the bucket. Otter are a very curious animal. When they see this in the water, they can't help but come investigate it, okay? And he's going to swim across the top of it, look down in it, see the fish, and he's going to dive right into it. Very deadly set this way. Now, I know some friends of mine down in Missouri who have actually taken live goldfish, put them in a small jar with some holes punched in the lid, and wired it down in the bottom of that so the otter can see the live goldfish swimming around inside the jar in the bottom of the bucket. Worked great. Would absolutely work fantastic. I have even heard of guys tying fishing lures down in the bottom of them that mimic shad or something of that sort. I've never done it, so I have no opinion on it, but I don't see why it wouldn't work for you if you choose to do something like that. What I would do though, if I use these, when I use these in water, is I drill a hole through the bottom here to stake it in the bottom so that the bucket doesn't rock, doesn't tip, doesn't blow, doesn't move. Stake it down and then stake the trap down, and you're good to go. Sorry guys, 4th of July weekend, a lot of traffic today. So, all right guys, so now if you're going to use a foothold trap in front of the bucket, I would set it so that the otter is coming between the jaws, not over the jaws. You know, you want it like this to the mouth of the bucket, not like this. Bed it in there good and solid, just like you would if you were trapping anything else on dry ground. The only difference I do on mine is I go ahead and I brush this out here on each side of the bucket. So the otter has to come around and pass through here to get to it. He can't just slip around, because they're pretty waspy. I mean, they're just a big overgrown mink. So he can't slip around over off to the sides to get to what's inside of it. Brush it off, make him come around just like you would for a bobcat. Make him come around to the front to pass through to get to whatever you've got going on here. Again, stake the bucket down, stake the trap down good and solid. Pretty much all there is to it. Make sure you bed your trap in there good and solid. Make sure you use a good pan cover. Bed it in just like you would if you were going to catch a predator. No difference catching an otter. Alright gang, I know this was kind of a quick little video, but I believe there was some pretty good information there for you if you choose to use it. If you haven't already, guys, if you would please hit that thumbs up for me, hit that notification bell, and hit that subscribe button. It means so much to me, and I greatly appreciate everything that y'all have done for this channel. I can't imagine, I could never fathom that it would grow like it has. I mean, it's just been amazing, and I appreciate it so much. Once again, guys, this is Dale Billingsley with another one, signing out.